decided to take up the guitar. The first thing you need to know is the parts of the guitar. You need to know what this is, what this is, what this is, and so on. Alright, it's really important that you know these, because when we as guitarists speak, you need to know what we are speaking about. So, first things first, what is this over here? Now, as you can see by the diagram, we have what's called the headstock. The headstock is made up of a couple of parts. You'll see there are tuning pegs, right? These over here. These control the tone or pitch of these strings here. So the tuning pegs control the pitch of the strings. So if I have to dial these forward or back, I'm going to either raise or drop the pitch of each of these strings. Now you'll see these parts here where the strings go into. These are called tuning machine heads. Right? These are what actually pull the string tight or allow the string to become loose. The next part that you need to know is this little white strip over here. This is called the nut. You can see this over here in the diagram. This is the nut. Now the nut has a couple of grooves in it that guides the strings through down to the body. The next part you need to know is the neck. Now this is what we call the business end of the guitar. This is where the magic happens. So you'll see on the front here you have these brass divisions. These divide up the fretboard, we call this a fretboard, into frets. So when we are playing a chord or when we want to play a note, we would fret with our finger in between these brass divisions. So when you are playing a note, you do not want to be pressing on the brass divisions, you want to be pressing in between the brass divisions. Now these create little squares here which we call frets. This of course is then fret 1. Now this is fret 2, fret 3, fret 4, and it carries on all the way down to, on most guitars, to fret 22. Some guitars have 24 fret. You will see on the neck you have these little white markings. These are called fret markings. These are to guide you so that you know where is fret 3, where is fret 5, where is fret 7, fret 9, and fret 12. Fret 12 is indicated by a double fretboard marking. At the base of the neck of the guitar we will find what's called the heel. This part here is called the heel, and this is usually where you will find a strap bolt, just like that. This is where you would attach your strap, and the other strap bolt is on the other end. Next we have the body of the guitar. This is where the sound is generated. So in the front we will see a hole. We call this the sound hole. Here we go. Here's the sound hole. The sound of the vibrating strings goes into the body, gets amplified, in other words made louder, and comes out of the sound hole. At the back of the guitar we have the bridge. This is where the strings are attached at the back here. These little pegs here on the bridge are called your string pegs. These are what you use to attach the strings to the guitar. You will find a little white plastic piece here. This is called the saddle. These, just like the nut, have little grooves, and they are there to guide the strings into the right area. Every guitar has a plastic piece here. This is called a pick guard. This is to protect the body from the pick. When you are busy strumming, you invariably will touch the body with the pick, and over years and years of playing you will scratch it, and actually some people have made holes in their guitar when this pick guard is not in place. This front side of the guitar here, this is called the sound board. These are the sides, and of course the back. Next we look at the electric guitar. Now I have a diagram here, and most of this, or pretty much all of this, is exactly the same as the acoustic guitar. What is important is these parts here. So you'll see that this guitar has pickups just like these, You'll notice there is no sound hole because the sound does not go into this. This is a solid body. It's not an open body or an empty body like the acoustic guitar. So an electric guitar uses pickups to pick up the sound vibrations of the guitar strings, and it amplifies it with these little magnetic steel sensors, which then transfer an electric current to the input jack at the back here. So what you would do is you would insert a cable into the back here, which then picks up the electric signal from the pickups to there and then goes out to an amplifier, which then makes the guitar sound. As you can hear, you can hardly hear the strings otherwise. You would have this over here, which is called a pickup selector. Mine is here at the bottom. So this then, if I push it forward, selects the front pickup. Back, of course, is the back pickup. And I can select in the middle for both. And I can tune them with these dials here to get the sound that I like. So you'll see on the diagram here, here are your volume and tone dials. They call them controls here, but we can call them dials as well. So on my guitar, I have two dials. This is for the front pickup. This one is for the back pickup. And then this one is my tone dial over here. This controls how much treble is in the mix. So obviously fully open will have a very trebly sound, and down will have a more dull, rounded sound. This particular guitar diagram that we are looking at here has this, what's called a tremolo bar. Some people call it a whammy bar as well. And what it does is, my guitar unfortunately does not have one, but my other guitar that I used to have did have one. And what it does is when you push it down, it then turns the bridge up, which loosens the tension on the strings, making the pitch of the note go down. And when you pull it up, it of course turns the bridge back, which tightens the strings and raises the pitch. Now, of course, if you had to make it go back and forward like this, you would create what we call a tremolo, which is like a ululating type of sound of the note. So it would be going na, like a vibrato. We can also call this a vibrato bar, but generally it's known in the industry as a tremolo bar. And of course, the very last thing that we can look at is the strap. Right? If you're going to be playing standing up, you will need one of these. And what I have done is I've bought these strap protectors. It's a little locking system that you put on the strap nut, right? And that holds it in place. That it's happened before that I've stood and played and then the strap comes off and the guitar wants to fall. Luckily, I'm usually holding the guitar. But if you had to be standing and that happens and you're not holding the guitar, your guitar is going to get really damaged. So I would really invest in one of these strap protectors if you're going to be playing with a strap. It just it protects your guitar from any type of damage. Okay, so you should know all of the parts of your guitar at this stage, and it's vitally important that you do know these parts so that when we are speaking about different parts of the guitar, we understand each other.